Most people make the same big mistake when washing and storing strawberries, which is why they spoil so quickly. Have you ever opened the refrigerator and discovered those delicious fresh strawberries were moldy just days after you bought them? That's because you don't know how to prepare and store them properly. So today, I'll show you how to wash and store strawberries properly so they stay fresh and delicious longer. Before talking about how to store strawberries, it's important to understand why berries spoil so easily. And the main reason is bacteria and microscopic mold spores. From the moment they're picked, tiny, invisible spores cling to their delicate skin. You can't see them, and you can't avoid them. When these berries are improperly stored in the refrigerator, with even a little moisture, those spores begin to multiply rapidly. That's why strawberries often get moldy after just a few days. So now you need to fix this problem and prevent bacteria and mold as soon as possible. Ideally right after you bring the strawberries home, by using a mildly acidic solution with vinegar. To prepare this solution, prepare a large bowl suitable for soaking the strawberries. I put all the strawberries into a bowl, then poured in enough water to completely submerge them. At this step, I only used regular water to lightly clean off any dirt on the outside, as strawberries often have dirt or dust from transportation. Next, I gently stirred and mixed the strawberries in the water. I didn't squeeze or scrub hard, but only stirred gently to avoid bruising the strawberries, as they are very soft and easily crushed. When I stirred gently like this, the dirt clinging to the outside of the strawberries gradually separated and dissolved in the water. I usually stirred for about 30 seconds to 1 minute, just enough for the water to wash away the initial dirt. Afterward, I gently removed the strawberries from the bowl and placed them in a colander or tray to drain. When removing them, I did it slowly to avoid scratching or bruising the fruit. At this point, if you look at the water in the bowl, you'll see that it has become cloudier, and there's even dirt and sediment at the bottom. This is the dirt and impurities that have been washed away from the strawberries. This simple but essential rinsing step helps remove most of the initial dirt, making subsequent cleaning steps more effective and ensuring the strawberries are cleaner for consumption. Second wash. Washing and soaking with flour. After rinsing briefly with clean water, we will now continue to clean them more thoroughly with flour. First, prepare a bowl of clean water. Then, add 2 tablespoons of flour. Next, use your hand or a spoon to stir until the flour is completely dissolved in the water. When the flour dissolves, the water will be slightly cloudy. After preparing the flour-water mixture, put all the strawberries into the bowl. Now, gently stir and mix the strawberries so that the water and flour mixture evenly covers the surface of each strawberry. When the flour dissolves in water, it forms a fine layer that helps absorb and pull away small dirt particles, residue, and impurities on the strawberries, including those stuck in small crevices that are difficult to clean with water alone. After stirring, let the strawberries soak for about 7 to 10 minutes. During this time, the flour will have time to work its magic, providing a deeper yet safe cleaning. I'm so happy to have you watching my video today. Tell me, which country are you watching from? What kind of fruit is your country famous for? Please share with me in the comments below. Once the soaking time is over, gently stir once more to remove any remaining dirt. Then, remove the strawberries and place them on a tray or basket to drain. At this point, the strawberries are much cleaner, and we'll move on to the next washing step to complete the cleaning process. After rinsing twice, you can easily see that the water is still slightly cloudy, and even small dirt particles have settled at the bottom of the basin. Strawberries have many tiny seeds on the outside, so they easily trap dirt. Therefore, I will continue with the final rinsing step to clean them more thoroughly. In this step, I use baking soda, a very familiar ingredient in the kitchen, and quite effective in helping to clean. First, I prepare a basin of clean water. Then add 1 spoonful of baking soda. Next, I use a spoon to stir well until the baking soda is completely dissolved in the water. When dissolved, the water will be slightly cloudy, creating a solution that can help with deeper cleaning. After the solution is ready, I put all the strawberries into the bowl. Next, I gently stir and mix the strawberries with my hands so that the baking soda solution comes into even contact with all the berries. Note that you should only stir gently. Do not squeeze them forcefully because strawberries are very soft, and rough handling can easily bruise them and ruin their beautiful shape. I stir gently for about 1 to 2 minutes. This step helps remove as much remaining dirt as possible, especially in the small crevices on the surface of the strawberries. Then I transfer the strawberries to another bowl of clean water to rinse them thoroughly. This is a very important step, helping to remove any remaining baking soda so that the strawberries retain their natural freshness and flavor. I can rinse them 1 to 2 times with clean water, gently stirring while rinsing to ensure the strawberries are truly clean. Finally, I remove the strawberries and place them in a colander or tray to drain naturally. At this point, the strawberries have been thoroughly cleaned through several steps and can be safely used or moved on to storage. So, with just one small step using baking soda, you've made your strawberries even cleaner and safer to eat. After washing, I remove the strawberries and place them on a soft towel. Now, I will use paper towels to dry each strawberry. You should dry them gently to avoid bruising them, as strawberries are quite soft. Drying the strawberries is very important, because if they are still damp, they will spoil more easily or quickly during storage. Once the strawberries are completely dry, I begin preparing for storage. I take out a clean, dry glass jar. The glass jar will help limit moisture and keep the strawberries fresh longer. Then, I line the bottom of the jar with a layer of paper. This layer of paper will help absorb any remaining moisture, preventing condensation during storage. Next, I arrange the strawberries in the jar. When arranging, I try to place them gently and not pack them too tightly to avoid bruising them. Once the jar is full, I seal the lid tightly and then store it in the refrigerator. The combination of completely dried strawberries, a paper towel liner, airtight storage, and cold temperature helps slow down the spoilage process. When stored this way, strawberries can stay fresh longer, retain their firmness and cleanliness, and be ready to enjoy whenever you want. That's the end of today's video. If you found this video helpful, please like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more practical and healthy cooking tips. Thank you, and see you in the next video.